Bienvenue chez Exam Heist, votre partenaire de confiance pour réussir vos certifications. Nous proposons des supports d'études complets, en ligne et hors ligne. Et nous sommes là pour vous guider pas à chaque étape. Des guides PDF détaillés aux exercices pratiques bien structurés. Toutes les questions essentielles sont soigneusement couvertes pour vous donner toutes les chances de réussir. Vous aurez toujours les bonnes ressources à portée de main. Téléchargez les PDFs. Faites des tests et connectez-vous à notre équipe d'assistance experte. Avec la pratique interactive en ligne. Entraînez-vous et quand vous voulez. À votre rythme. Nos PDFs prêts pour l'examen sont soigneusement élaborés et régulièrement mis à jour. Des milliers d'apprenants certifiés font confiance à notre qualité et à notre sérieux. Des professionnels qualifiés sont disponibles pour répondre à vos questions. Commencez dès aujourd'hui et donnez à votre préparation l'avantage décisif avec Exam Heist. Visitez Exam Heist. Comme dès maintenant. Exam Heist. Votre parcours vers le succès commence ici.
Question 1. On a Linux router, packet forwarding for IPv4 has been enabled. After a reboot, the machine no longer forwards IP packets from other hosts. The command echo 1 greater than proc sys net IPv4 IP forward temporarily resolves this issue. Which one of the following options is the best way to ensure this setting is saved across system? Restarts. Option A. Add echo 1 greater than proc sys net IPv4 IP forward to the root user login script. Option B. Add echo 1 greater than proc sys net IPv4 IP forward to any user login script. Option C. In etc sysct1 conference change net IPv4 IP forward to 1. Option D. In etc rc local add net IPv4 IP forward equals 1. Option E. In etc susconfig IP tables config add IPv4 IP forward equals 1. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option C. In /etc/susct1.conf change net.ipv4 IP forward to 1. Question 2. What information can be found in the file specified by the status parameter in an OpenVPN server configuration? File. Choose 2. Option A. Errors and warnings generated by the OpenVPN daemon. Option B. Routing information. Option C. Statistical information regarding the currently running OpenVPN daemon. Option D. A list of currently connected clients. Option E. A history of all clients who have connected at some point. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B. Routing information. Option D. A list of currently connected clients. Question 3. Which of the following lines in the SSHD configuration file should, if present, be changed in order to increase the security of the server? Choose 2. Option A. Protocol 2. 1. Option B. Permit empty passwords no. Option C. Port 22. Option D. Permit root login yes. Option E. Ignore roasts yes. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A. Protocol 2. 1. Option D. Permit root login yes. Question 4. Which of the following nmap parameters scans a target for open TCP ports? Choose 2. Option A. So. Option B. SZ. Option C. Saint. Option D. Su. Option E. SS. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option C. Saint. Option E. SS. Question 5. Which of the statements below are correct regarding the following commands? which are executed on a Linux router. Choose 2. Option A. Packets with source or destination addresses from FAT64 will never occur in the forward chain. Option B. The rules disable packet forwarding because network nodes always use addresses from FAT64 to identify routers in their routing tables. Option C. IP6 tables returns an error for the second command because the affected network is already part of another rule. Option D. Both IP6 tables commands complete without an error message or warning. Option E. The rules suppress any automatic configuration through router advertisements or DHCPv6. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option A. Packets with source or destination addresses from FAT64 will never occur in the forward chain. Option D. Both IP6 tables commands complete without an error message or warning. Question 6. What option in the client configuration file would tell OpenVPN to use a dynamic source port when making a connection to a peer? Option A. SRC port. Option B. Remote. Option C. Source port. Option D. No bind. Option E. Dynamic bind. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option D. No bind. Question 7. Which Linux user is used by VSFTPD to perform file system operations for anonymous FTP users? Option A. The Linux user which runs the VSFTPD process. Option B. The Linux user that owns the root FTP directory served by VSFTPD. Option C. The Linux user with the same username that was used to anonymously log into the FTP server. Option D. The Linux user root, but VSFTPD grants access to anonymous users only to globally read, writable files. Option E. The Linux user specified in the configuration option FTP username. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option E. The Linux user specified in the configuration option FTP username. Question 8. Which of the following SSHD configuration should be set to no in order to fully disable password-based logins? Choose 2. Option A. PAM authentication. Option B. Challenge response authentication. Option C. Permit plain text login. Option D. Use passwords. Option E. Password authentication. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option B. Challenge response authentication. Option E. Password authentication. Question 9. When the default policy for the netfilter input chain is set to drop, why should a rule allowing traffic to localhost exist? Option A. All traffic to localhost must always be allowed. Option B. It doesn't matter. Netfilter never affects packets addressed to localhost. Option C. Some applications use the localhost interface to communicate with other applications. Option D. Syslog receives messages on localhost. Option E. The IP tables command communicates with the netfilter management daemon netfiltered on localhost to create and change packet filter rules. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option C. Some applications use the localhost interface to communicate with other applications. Question 10. The content of which local file has to be transmitted to a remote SSH server in order to be able to log into the remote server using SSH keys? Option A. Tilde. SSH authorized keys. Option B. Tilde. SSH config. Option C. Tilde. SSH id RSA pub. Option D. Tilde. SSH, id RSA. Option E. Tilde. SSH, known hosts. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option C tilde, .ssh, id RSA. Pub. Question 11. What is the name of the network security scanner project which, at the core, is a server with a set of network vulnerability tests? Option A. NetMap. Option B. OpenVAS. Option C. SmartScan. Option D. Wireshark. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B OpenVAS. Question 12. With failed to ban, what is a jail? Option A. A netfilter rules chain blocking offending IP addresses for a particular service. Option B. A group of services on the server which should be monitored for similar attack patterns in the log files. Option C. A filter definition and a set of one or more actions to take when the filter is matched. Option D. The root environment in which failed to ban runs. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option C. A filter definition and a set of one or more actions to take when the filter is matched. Question 13. The program VSFTPD, running in a root jail, gives the following error. Which of the following actions would fix the error? Option A. The file, etc, ld. So, conference in the root file system must contain the path to the appropriate lib directory in the root jail. Option B. Create a symbolic link that points to the required library outside the root jail. Option C. Copy the required library to the appropriate lib directory in the root jail. Option D. Run the program using the command root in the option static libs. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option C. Copy the required library to the appropriate lib directory in the root jail. Question 14. Which of the following Samba configuration parameters is functionally identical to the parameter read only equals yes? Option A. Browsable equals no. Option B. Read write equals no. Option C. Writable equals no. Option D. Write only equals no. Option E. Write access equals no. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option C. Writable equals no. Question 15. How must Samba be configured such that it can check CIFS passwords against those found in etc password and etc shadow? Option A. Set the parameters encrypt passwords equals yes and password file equals etc password. Option B. Set the parameters encrypt passwords equals yes, password file equals etc password and password algorithm equals crypt. Option C. Delete the SMBPASSWD file and create a symbolic link to the password and shadow file. Option D. It is not possible for Samba to use etc password and etc shadow directly. Option E. Run SMBPASSWD to convert etc password and etc shadow to a Samba password file. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option D. It is not possible for Samba to use etc password and etc shadow directly. Question 16. In which CIFS share must printer drivers be placed to allow point-to-print driver deployment on Windows? Option A. Winx 64 $. Option B. Print $. Option C. The name of the share is specified in the option print driver share within each printable share in SMB. Conference. Option D. PNP drivers $. Option E. NETLOGON. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B, print $. Question 17. Which of the following Samba services handles the membership of a file server in an active directory? Domain. Option A. Winbind. Option B. NMBD. Option C. MSADD. Option D. ADME-MB. Option E. Samba. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A, Winbind. Question 18. Which of the following statements is true regarding the NFS v4 pseudo file system on the NFS server? Option A. It must be called exports. Option B. It usually contains bind mounts of the directory trees to be exported. Option C. It must be a dedicated partition on the server. Option D. It is defined in the option NFS v4 root in etc. Pathma PD. Conference. Option E. It usually contains sim links to the directory trees to be exported. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B. It usually contains bind mounts of the directory trees to be exported. Question 19. Which of the following options are valid in etc. exports? Choose 2. Option A. RW. Option B. Row. Option C. Root squash. Option D. No root squash. Option E. UID. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A, RW. Option B, row. Question 20. Which command is used to configure which file systems a NFS server makes available to clients? Option A. Export FS. Option B. MKFS. NFS. Option C. Mount. Option D. NFS Servicet1. Option E. Telnet. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A, Export FS. Question 21. Which of these tools, without any options, provides the most information when performing DNS queries? Option A. Dig. Option B. NSLOOKUP. Option C. Host. Option D. Named check conf. Option E. Named check zone. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A, dig. Question 22. Performing a DNS lookup with dig results in this answer. Option A. There is no after line serve. Example. Net in the PTR record in the forward lookup zone file. Option B. There is no after line serve in the PTR record in the forward lookup zone file. Option C. There is no after line serve. Example. Net in the PTR record in the reverse lookup zone file. Option D. The in the NS definition in the reverse lookup zone has to be removed. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option C. There is no after line serve. Example. Net in the PTR record in the reverse lookup zone file. Question 23. What option for bind is required in the global options to disable recursive queries on the DNS server by default? Option A. Allow recursive query. None. Option B. Allow recursive query off. Option C. Recursion, disabled. Closing curly bracket. Option D. Recursion, none. Closing curly bracket. Option E. Recursion, no. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option E recursion no. Question 24. Which of the following DNS records could be a glue record? Option A. NS1. LABA 198. 51. 100. 53. Option B. LAB NS 198. 51. 100. 53. Option C. NS1. LAB NS 198. 51. 100. 53. Option D. NS1. A198. 51. 100. 53. Option E. NS1. LAB glue 198. 51. 100. 53. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A NS1, LABA 198.51.100.53. Question 25. What is DNSSEC used for? Option A. Encrypted DNS queries between name servers. Option B. Cryptographic authentication of DNS zones. Option C. Secondary DNS queries for local zones. Option D. Authentication of the user that initiated the DNS query. Option E. Encrypting DNS queries and answers. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B. Cryptographic authentication of DNS zones. Question 26. In a bind zone file, what does the @ character indicate? Option A. It's the fully qualified host name of the DNS server. Option B. It's an alias for the email address of the zone master. Option C. It's the name of the zone as defined in the zone statement in named conference. Option D. It's used to create an alias between two CNAME entries. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option C. It's the name of the zone as defined in the zone statement in named conference. Question 27. Which bind option should be used to limit the IP addresses from which slave name servers may connect? Option A. Allow zone transfer. Option B. Allow transfer. Option C. Allow secondary. Option D. Allow slaves. Option E. Allow queries. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B. Allow transfer. Question 28. In order to protect a directory on an Apache HTTPD web server with a password, this configuration was added to an htaccess file in the respective directory. Furthermore, a file, var, www, dir, htaccesswd was created with the following content. User, S3CR3T. Given that all these files were correctly processed by the web server processes, which of the following statements is true about requests to the directory? Option A. The user can access the site using the password S3CR3T. Option B. Accessing the directory is user raises HTTP error code 442. User not existent. Option C. Requests are answered with HTTP error code 500. Internal server error. Option D. The browser prompts the visitor for a username and password, but logins for user do not seem to work. Option E. The web server delivers the content of the directory without requesting authentication. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option D. The browser prompts the visitor for a username and password, but logins for user do not seem to work. Question 29. Which Apache HTTPD directive enables HTTPS protocol support? Option A. HTTPS engine on. Option B. SSL engine on. Option C. SSL enable on. Option D. HTTPS enable on. Option E. Start TLS on. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B, SSL engine on. Question 30. Which statements about the alias and redirect directives in Apache HTTPD's configuration file are true? Choose 2. Option A. Alias can only reference files under document root. Option B. Redirect works with regular expressions. Option C. Redirect is handled on the client side. Option D. Alias is handled on the server side. Option E. Alias is not a valid configuration directive. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option C. Redirect is handled on the client side. Option D. Alias is handled on the server side. Question 31. Which HTTP access directive for Squid allows users in the ACL named SalesNet to only access the Internet at times specified in the time ACL named sales time? Option A. HTTP access deny sales time SalesNet. Option B. HTTP access allow SalesNet sales time. Option C. HTTP access allow SalesNet and sales time. Option D. Allow HTTP access SalesNet sales time. Option E. HTTP access SalesNet sales time. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B. HTTP access allow SalesNet sales time. Question 32. Which global option in Squid Conference sets the port number or numbers that Squid will use to listen for client requests? Option A. Port. Option B. Client port. Option C. HTTP port. Option D. Server port. Option E. Squid port. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option C. HTTP port. Question 33. When using mod or score, which of the following strings can be used as an argument to require in an Apache HTTPD configuration file to specify the authentication provider? Choose 3. Option A. Method. Option B. All. Option C. Regex. Option D. Header. Option E. EXPR. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A. Method. Option B. All. Option E. EXPR. Question 34. Which tool creates a certificate signing request? CSR. For serving HTTPS with Apache HTTPD. Option A. Apache-1. Option B. CertGen. Option C. CarTool. Option D. HTTPS-GEN. Option E. OpenSSL. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option E. OpenSSL. Question 35. In response to a certificate signing request, a certification authority sent a web server certificate along with the certificate of an intermediate certification authority that signed the web server certificate. What should be done with the intermediate certificate in order to use the web server certificate with Apache HTTPD? Option A. The intermediate certificate should be merged with the web server's certificate into one file that is specified in SSL certificate file. Option B. The intermediate certificate should be used to verify the certificate before its deployment on the web server and can be deleted. Option C. The intermediate certificate should be stored in its own file which is referenced in SSLCA certificate file. Option D. The intermediate certificate should be improved into the certificate store of the web browser used to test the correct operation of the web server. Option E. The intermediate certificate should be archived and resent to the certification authority in order to request a renewal of a certificate. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A. The intermediate certificate should be merged with the web service certificate into one file that is specified in SSL certificate file.